Sonny, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 stupidest decisions or worst calls in sci-fi movies. Take this as your spoiler alert.
We spotted them easy, but these are new.
Number 20. Not guarding the crazy terrorist, Face Off.
You know, this is fabulous work. This is bravo.
John Woo's face-swapping thriller is a wild ride that pits Nicolas Cage and John Travolta in a high-stakes cat-and-mouse game. While the film's high-octane energy is undeniable, some moments are just plain ridiculous. A glaring example, a known terrorist like Castor is left in a coma without heavy security. He wakes up, realizes his face is gone, forces the doctor to change his face, torches a lab, and just strolls out with his gang. How does a dangerous criminal, supposedly under the FBI's watch, manage to escape so easily? The only answer is that logic had to take a backseat for the face-swapping twist to unfold. While it makes the story work, it's still one of the film's massive plot holes. Number 19. Not sending all data interstellar. This thought-provoking gem blew our minds, but it also made some questionable choices. Now, the whole mission boiled down to sending the quantum data to save humanity, right? Cooper ends up in a dimension where he can somehow communicate with his daughter, Merv, through time.
Yes.
With the data within his grasp, all he had to do was send it instantly. Problem solved. But no, Cooper uses Morse code to send it bit by bit through Merv's old watch. Wasn't there a more efficient method to transmit it all at once? What if Merv never looked for this watch? Humanity's fate resting on a forgotten timepiece feels insane. But hey, a father's love for his daughter transcends all, even logic.
Nobody believed me, but I knew you'd come back.
Number 18. Yona blowing up a bomb on a train in a frozen wasteland, Snowpiercer.
Take the fire.
In this post-apocalyptic tale, most of Earth is an icy wasteland. The only way to survive is to stay on a constantly moving train. Step outside, and you're toast. Well, more like a popsicle. It's wild that Yona, Namgoon Minsu's daughter, decides to light a bomb inside the very thing keeping everyone alive. But let's rewind a bit. When a rebellion breaks out, Yona and her father are all in. Their brilliant plan to escape Wilford's unfair system? Blow a hole in the train and take their chances outside. So, they'd rather gamble with the frozen death trap that is Earth than deal with Snowpiercer's harsh reality? Risking everyone's life for a maybe? Yeah, that's not just bold, it's borderline stupid. Number 17. Trusting HAL fully, 2001 A Space Odyssey.
The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information.
In Stanley Kubrick's classic sci-fi, man evolves from using crude tools to building high-tech AIs. Fast forward to space exploration, and the big idea is to hand the mission over to an intelligent, human-like computer named HAL. I mean, what could go wrong? HAL isn't just a helpful assistant, he's the brain of the ship, chatting with the crew like he's one of them.
By the way, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, not at all.
But here's the kicker, HAL was trusted with classified info that the astronauts weren't even allowed to know. Since he was programmed to never lie but also conceal the mission's true nature, HAL decides to murder the crew. Yeesh. This is what scientists trusted completely. He may have been smart, but he certainly wasn't as wise as humans.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Number 16. Running straight ahead, Prometheus. When Indiana Jones runs away from the rolling boulder in Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's only one way to run, forward. Viewers slap their foreheads in unison when archaeologist Elizabeth Shaw and mission director Meredith Viggers took the same approach to escape the thin disk of a falling alien spacecraft, running straight ahead in an open area that offers them a pretty simple solution to their problem. Just turn left. Alright, anything really. Shaw at least eventually thinks things through, diving sideways and out of the way. Vickers, yeah, not so much. Number 15. Underestimating the bugs, Starship Troopers.
Whenever the three of us are together, I feel like things might just work out.
In this alien flick, humans aren't the good guys. They're more like the problem. Driven by a thirst for galactic domination, the United Citizen Federation picks a fight with a colony of giant arachnids. Believing these insects are nothing less than mindless beasts, humans grossly underestimate them. Big mistake. Rico and his team are deployed to invade the bugs' home planet, only to painfully discover that these so-called beasts are way more advanced than anyone thought. So, while humans arrogantly assumed they had the upper hand, their error in judgment led to devastating losses. What a huge reality check. This oversight will make more sense when you understand the symbolic meaning behind Paul Verhoeven's satire.
It's a fray!
Number 14. Not telling everyone about Limbo, Inception.
We're dreaming?
You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson in shared dreaming.
Christopher Nolan's mind-bending movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio as Dominic Cobb, an extractor hired to implant an idea into a target's subconscious. It's essentially a heist movie, which means every aspect of the mission has to be meticulously planned. Along the way, Cobb makes a poor decision. He fails to inform his team that dying in a dream while under use of sedative sends you into a limbo.
Won't wake him up.
What do you mean it won't wake
It won't
him
wake
up?
him
When we
up.
die in a dream, we wake up.
Not from this. We're too heavily sedated to wake up that way.
The limbo isn't a place anyone wants to be, because you lose all sense of reality. So why wait until they're already in Fish's dream and Sato's been shot to drop that bombshell? I don't know. Whether it's a strategic or careless choice, it paints Cobb as less of a genius and more of a reckless gambler.
Well, how long can we be stuck there?
Can't even think about trying to escape until the sedation
How
is
long,
eased.
Yusuf?
Decades. It could be infinite. I don't know. Ask him. He's the one who's been there.
Number 13. Going against the Council, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Anakin Skywalker started as a talented child slave dreaming of freedom and helping others, but he would go on to become Darth Vader, the terrifying enforcer who hunted Jedi and butchered younglings. But hey, who knew this was bound to happen? Well, Qui-Gon Jinn and the Jedi Council.
Trained as a Jedi, your request for him,
Finding him was the will of the Force. I have no doubt of that.
While Qui-Gon thought Anakin was the chosen one, the Council sensed the darkness in him and rejected the idea of training him as a Jedi. Qui-Gon, ever the rebel, went ahead anyway. We all know how that not-so-very-smart decision changed everything for the worse. Of course, many factors fueled Anakin's descent, but maybe, just maybe, if Qui-Gon had listened to the Council, things wouldn't have gone so epically wrong.
I don't understand.
With time and training, Annie, you will.
Number 12. Releasing the Dinosaurs, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. For the sake of sequels and more sequels, many questionable decisions have made it to the big screen. Anyone who's seen the 2018 installment of Jurassic Park already knows where this is going. The film's packed with some ridiculous concepts, like dinosaurs being weaponized by hostile nations. But the moment that takes the cake is Maisie releasing the caged dinosaurs to spare them from a gas leak.
I had to. They're alive. Like me.
I mean, it's just nuts. Choosing to prevent a dino genocide so that more humans can die? Talk about screwing the entire ecosystem for a noble cause. It's more than just Maisie's bleeding heart at play here. With the dinosaurs roaming wild, one thing's bound to happen. A sequel nobody asked for. Number 11. Not memorizing the time loop, Edge of Tomorrow.
You said to find you when I wake up. You do know what's happening to me.
This Tom Cruise-led action movie begins like your typical alien invasion flick, with soldiers battling creepy extraterrestrials. Except this time, a time loop comes into play and changes everything. Now, this is where the film's dumbest mistake also lies. Cage gets the ability to relive the same day like the mimics, which should have been an advantage for humans.
Isn't that an officer's uniform?
These sure ain't officers. Cufflinks. Keys in the left pocket, probably.
Sure, he learned something new with each reset, but he was forgetting one thing: documenting them. Without some sort of map or detailed plan, he was relying purely on his memory. A simple record could have led to an early victory. Gamers totally get this. It's like playing a game with no save points. One mistake, and it's back to square one. Number 10. Training drillers as astronauts, Armageddon.
We've had them training for 8 months solid now.
8 whole months?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, gee whiz.
When an asteroid the size of Texas hurtles toward Earth, who does NASA send into space to blow it up? Astronauts or deep-sea drill operators? Well, to be fair, one of the drillers is Bruce Willis. While it would have been way easier to teach astronauts to drill than teach drillers to navigate space, this premise does allow for a pretty entertaining training montage, which includes a Michael Clarke Duncan dance and strip scene. Nonetheless, even Ben Affleck questioned the film's logic. Michael Bay's answer? Shut up. But how about this? Why does the grumpy Colonel character bring a gun on board? On the plus side, NASA actually screens the movie in their management training program, because it contains 168 errors about space.
Bear!
Yes.
Do we have a problem?
No.
Number 9. Unleashing the Titans to save Earth, Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
The human infection will only continue to spread, and within our lifetime, our planet will perish.
Let's be honest, Emma Russell is easily one of the most annoying characters in the Godzilla franchise. The film begins with her and her daughter getting kidnapped by an eco-terrorist to unleash the Titans. At this point, you might think she's doing what she must to survive, until you learn she's secretly working with the terrorist.
San Francisco, Las Vegas, wherever the Titans go, life follows, triggered by their radiation. They are the only thing that can reverse the destruction that we started.
Her motivation for this? Completely bonkers. According to Emma's ideology, humans are the infection, and her brilliant solution is to unleash giant monsters that will wipe us out. To heal the world, she's gonna bring an even bigger plague? It's baffling, especially since she lost her son in a Titan attack. For such a smart scientist, Emma's logic is painfully flawed.
I can only urge you all to take refuge.
Number 8. Falling in love with a humanoid robot, Ex Machina.
When did you learn how to speak, Ava?
I always knew how to speak. And that's strange.
Robots fascinate, enchant, and seduce? In Alex Garland's debut indie hit, computer programmer Caleb Smith wins a competition to evaluate a humanoid artificial intelligence who happens to look pretty good in mesh.
So we need to break the ice. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
What do I mean?
Overcome initial social awkwardness.
So let's have a conversation.
Ava isn't the first sexy robot to hit the screen. Remember Zora from Blade Runner, or Gigolo Joe from AI? However, Ava might be the most dangerous. When Caleb falls for her, he finds himself in a battle of wits with her creator. But who's really testing whom? And how smart is it to fall in love with a super intelligent machine that can predict your every move? Spoiler alert, not very. Number 7. Testing the drug ALZ-113, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
When it comes to dangerous experiments in movies, that warning light or slip-up probably means something pretty bad. Seeking to cure his father's Alzheimer's, scientist Will Rodman discovers a viral drug that inadvertently increases the intelligence of chimpanzees. When Will adopts orphan chimp Caesar as his own, everything is hunky-dory, until Caesar begins to realize how humans treat animals. But the real mistake here isn't boosting Caesar's intelligence. It's when the team doesn't make a big enough deal of the fact that Franklin's mask was knocked off during the ALZ-113 experiment, leading to an infection that ultimately destroys human civilization, and paves the way for Caesar's takeover. Number 6. Bringing the sports almanac back in time, Back to the Future Part 2.
Marty! I can't lose. Marty, up here!
Time travel's tricky. Change one little thing and the whole future could unravel. Marty McFly learns that lesson the hard way when he's almost erased from existence in the original movie. Yet when he and Doc Brown travel to the distant future of 2015, Marty recklessly purchases a sports almanac to get rich quick upon his return to 1985.
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
I am going to put this in the trash.
Of course, the time travelers fail to notice Marty's arch-nemesis Biff Tannen listening in, and then fail to notice him following them, then fail to close the damn doors on the DeLorean, giving old Biff the chance to give the almanac to his younger self. The result is alternate 1985 Hell Valley, where Biff is not only powerful, but also married to Marty's mother.
How could you leave Dad for him?
Leave Dad. Marty, are you feeling all right?
No!
Number 5. Not quarantining Kane, Alien.
The first thing that I'm going to do when I get back is to get some decent food. I can dig it, man.
Ridley Scott has earned his reputation as a legendary director, but he receives a second mention here for his horror masterpiece, Alien. The crew of the Nostromo makes a fatal mistake when crew member Kane returns from exploring a mysterious planetoid with an alien organism attached to his face.
Hey, how the hell's he breathing?
He's still alive or what?
Hey, why don't you guys freeze him?
Warrant officer and General Badass Ellen Ripley refuses to let him inside, citing quarantine laws. She is overruled, however, and then apparently forgets her concerns when the organism falls off of its own accord, leading to one of the most famous mealtimes in movie history.
The food ain't that bad, baby.
You choking? What's wrong?
Number 4. Kissing the infected 28 weeks later.
You said you saw her die.
What?
You said you saw her die!
Sometimes a kiss is just a kiss, and sometimes it involves an apocalyptic rage virus that will end human life as we know it. When zombies attack, Don Harris, a survivor of the original outbreak seen in 28 Days Later, abandons his wife and runs for the hills. Hey, it's until death do us part, not undeath. Still, his betrayal is pretty crappy, and in order to ease his guilt, he sneaks into his now infected wife's isolation cell to beg for forgiveness.
I'm so sorry. I'm scared.
They seal their love with a kiss. I mean, couldn't they have just, I don't know, shaken hands? This gives Don the worst STI ever, and now a rage-filled zombie, he goes on a murderous rampage through the former safe zone of District 1. Number 3. Trusting robots, the Terminator.
That Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with.
If science fiction has taught us anything, it's not to trust super intelligent computers. In addition to HAL, remember the Master Control program in Tron? And then there was Skynet, of course. The primary antagonist of the Terminator franchise, Skynet is an artificial intelligence developed by the US military, and it's given control of military defense systems, including nuclear weapons. What a great idea.
Tony, what the hell is going on?
But, surprise surprise, sometime in the future, Skynet becomes too smart and in order to preserve itself and the world, decides to wipe out humanity. Then a bunch of stuff happens and Arnold Schwarzenegger arrives naked at a biker bar. But take our word for it, trusting the robots was a bad plan.
By the time Skynet became self-aware, it had spread into millions of computer servers across the planet.
Number 2. Putting the exhaust port on the Death Star, Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope.
Look at him, he's heading for that small moon.
I think I can get him before he gets there. He's almost in range.
That's no moon.
The Death Star is a megastructure of death and destruction, the size of a small moon, with one fatal flaw. The Empire rules millions of civilized planets, has unlimited resources, and access to the greatest minds in the galaxy. Drawing on these assets, the Emperor decides to construct the most powerful weapon of mass destruction the universe has ever known. There's just one problem.
The target area is only 2 meters wide. It's a small thermal exhaust port right below the main port.
This massive armoured space station has a little hole on its surface that leads straight down to a reactor core. Shoot a torpedo in there, and boom. So, how could a methodical organisation make such a dumb decision? This was such a big boo-boo that they basically devoted an entire movie to explaining why it happened. But hey, at least we got Rogue One out of it. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Creating dinosaurs in the first place, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
This 90s blockbuster delivers a memorable, gripping adventure, but let's be real, none of it would have worked if dinosaurs weren't in the mix. John Hammond builds a theme park full of them. Things go awry when the disgruntled Nedry steals embryos. Shutting down security in a park full of such dangerous creatures, that's reckless beyond belief. But the whole idea of cloning dinosaurs was doomed from the start. Hammond, too busy playing God, chose not to notice how huge a risk it was. It pretty much opened the floodgates for other dumb decisions in this franchise. I mean, they never learn. Even in the 1997 sequel, they actually bring rampaging dinos from a remote island into mainland America. When does it end? So, what's the dumbest decision you've ever come across in a science fiction movie? Let us know in the comment section.
Well, I don't think there is any question about it. It can only be attributable to human error.